So the whole USAID saga feels like it was so long ago now. Elon and Doge illegally hacking into the back end of our government and just destroying whatever government agencies they want. The first one that was on the chopping block was USAID. Now, for those of you that don't know, USAID is sort of like, it's described as the US's soft power, right? So we're an empire, we're a superpower, or at least we were. That's changing. And hard power is, war in Iraq type stuff. It's invasions, it's boots on the ground, it's bombing, it's drones, it's that sort of stuff. It's like forcing people at the point of a gun to do X, Y, or Z. That's hard power. Hard power is bad. Soft power, which is not, there is no good imperial enforcement, right? There's no such thing as good imperial enforcement. Having said that, there are some objectively positive consequences of soft power in the sense that if you're handing out medicine for free, well, a lot of people will probably survive as a result of that medicine you're handing out for free. That is a good outcome of an otherwise bad notion of imperial power more broadly and soft power more specifically, okay? So, this was the first thing that was on the chopping block. Now, I warned you at the time, everybody warned you at the time. The goal here, they're going to gut USAID effectively, but really it's because they don't believe in soft power at all. They believe in hard power. So that's why you see at the same time they cut USAID and destroy our soft power, they're saying, we're going to invade Greenland and steal Greenland. We're going to take and own Gaza and build hotels and casinos on the beach and ethnically cleanse it and genocide them. We're going to steal Panama. We're going to warmonger with Mexico. We're already bombing Yemen. We already bombed Somalia. And the list goes on. So all they see is hard power. Let's just invade. Let's just steal. All that stuff, right? It's very clear. So that's what they're going to do. But people decided, hey, let's go crunch the numbers on what the impacts are on the cutting off of the USAID funding. Now, by the way, I should also point out, there are people on the right who just lie about USAID, right? And you've heard this from Rogan, you've heard this from a lot of where some right-wing rag that doesn't know anything and that makes stuff up will come out and say, we were spending $17 million on belly dancing classes for hamsters in Guatemala. Do you believe this? Oh, this is so bad. Just so you know, most of the stuff that they talk about there is totally made up. Right? Like, it's just totally made up. The other thing is sometimes they'll bring up something that has a grain of truth in it, but they twist it, right? So when Trump said in his State of the Union speech, we're spending millions of dollars to make mice transgender. Well, I killed that. No, it wasn't. We weren't spending money on transgender mice. We were spending money on this thing called transgenic mice. And what transgenic mice is to make the mice basically more like humans at the cellular level, and then when you test certain medicines on them, you know how it would impact humans better. So in other words, he just doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about, right? They do this all the, why are we spending $40 million on a shrimp sperm study? And then you read into it below the headline, and they say, well, actually, this is the cutting edge of the medicine that we need for this thing or that thing, right? So again, they just lie. It's just endless lies. And it's amazing to me how many people will look at some right-wing rag fucking 4chan ass website and read it and go, that's happening. It's like, what? Come on, man. Have just a little bit of fucking skepticism, right? Just a little bit. So anyway, what are the actual results of destroying USAID? Well, here we go. Look at this. So first of all, Tommy Vidor says, the predictable and tragic impact of cutting off U.S. assistance to Sudan. Here's a quote from the piece. The children died one after the other. 12 acutely malnourished infants living in one corner of Sudan's war-ravaged capital, Khartoum. Abdo, an 18-month-old boy, had been rushed to a clinic by his mother as he was dying. His ribs protruded from his withered body. The next day, a doctor laid him out on a blanket with a teddy bear motif, his eyes closed. Like the other 11 children, Abdo starved to death in the weeks after President Trump froze all U.S. foreign assistance, said local aid workers and a doctor. American-funded soup kitchens in Sudan, including the one near Abdo's house, had been the only lifelines for tens of thousands of people besieged by fighting. Bombs were falling, gunfire was everywhere. Then, as the American money dried up, hundreds of soup kitchens closed in a matter of days. Quote, it was catastrophic, said Dua Tariq, an aid worker. The stark consequences of Mr. Trump's slashing of U.S. aid are evident in few places as clear as in the Sudan, where a brutal civil war has set off a staggering humanitarian catastrophe and left 25 million people, more than half of the country's population, acutely hungry. But I'm not done. This is just one anecdote. You ready for more? This is a new preprint of a study that's published in The Lancet. Ready? New preprint finding that eliminating U.S. global health funding over the next 15 years would cause, ready? 15.2 million deaths from AIDS, 2.2 million deaths from tuberculosis, and 7.9 million additional child deaths. So when you do more hard power and you cut off the soft power, which includes stuff like food and medicine for people who are starving and sick, this is the result. This is the result. By the way, U.S. aid is some preposterously tiny percentage of our budget, right? If you look at me and you say, hey, Kyle, look, I think Americans should get free healthcare certainly before we're giving healthcare to people in Sudan. I understand that argument. I'm in favor of Medicare for all. I'm in favor of single payer. Everybody in the U.S. should have healthcare. Nobody should go bankrupt as a result of it. But the idea that you look at, say, this like 1% of the federal budget, which actually objectively does some positive things in the world and saves 20 million lives, and that's on the chopping block first? Motherfucker, Trump wants $1 trillion Pentagon budget. They just failed their 7th audit in a row. They can't account for over 60% of their money. The one area in the government that actually has a tremendous amount of waste, fraud, and abuse, they are funding it more. They are ramping it up. They are giving it steroids. Then the other areas that actually do good work, totally destroying it. Getting rid of the CFPB, cutting the pediatric cancer research, cutting Meals on Wheels, and cutting stuff like this. Where now 20 million more people are going to die as a direct result of their actions, and people are already dying as a result of their actions. These people are evil. They're evil. And by the way, the source for this was in Nature magazine. But these people are evil. They're evil. And this is what liberals and leftists need to understand. Is that, again, our default perspective is like to see the best in people and assume everybody's got similar motivations to you and all that. No, evil exists. Evil exists and it's real. And these people don't mean well. They don't. They want to break things. They want to cause harm. They want to make people miserable. They want people to die because they cut off the funding. They want to destroy our regulatory agencies. They want to destroy the administrative state. They want to invade 6 more countries and steal territory. This is what they want. This is what they want. Trump wants to be a dictator. He wants to stay in there. Well, the real world consequences are already absolutely, positively, catastrophically dire, right? And I don't want to hear another fucking word from anybody ever again about both sides are the same. Both sides, they're roughly equal. Like, shut the fuck up. If you believe that in the year of our Lord, in April 2025, you stopped using your brain. It just doesn't work anymore. It just shit the bed, right? Like, for real. For real. So anyway, these are the real world results, man. And they're ugly, aren't they? Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop. And watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.